Hi friends, hello and welcome to the first video of this new adventure called Virtual Pedals Around. Today we are going to go from Dongguan, the modern area called Dongcheng district, all the way to LinZeXu Memorial Hall, which is a very important historical place here in China, in Humen. That's where in 1839 2.3 tons of British opium were burned and was the start of the Opium War. So very important place for the history of China and the city. So let's get on the road. We're gonna have about 2.5 hours of riding before we get there. And well, I'll tell you a little bit about the importance of this place in today's context, and well, also a little bit more about my city. Now, an important thing to know about this museum is that it's not just like any other museum. It's quite interactive. This is where battles actually took place, so that's what makes it a little bit different. There's a lot of old style and real antiques over there, from cannons to weapons and all kinds of stuff. And there's some very interesting interactive demonstrations over there that make it one of China's top 100 patriotic education museums. It's interesting to see and think that it all started with some trading balances. And I think that that's why it relates a little bit to today's world, in which we are all talking about trading balances and tariffs and whatnot. But more about that a little bit later. This memorial hall is part of two other museums and exhibits on patriotic history here in China. The interesting thing is, the Opium Wars were all about trading balances. Britain was flooding China with opium to sort of offset the trading balance that they had, because they were purchasing a lot of tea and a lot of silk, and it was a way to confront an economic system that they were not under control. They were not controlling. So again, fast forward to today, and we see quite a bit of the same, right? A trading balance that other countries are trying to gain control over, because, well, they're at the losing end of that trading balance. Oh, I forgot to buckle my helmet. Let's do that right about now. Now, why is this museum so important today? Because, like back then, the Opium War redefined Asia. It redrew lines and redrew alliances that, well, affected the next century. And today, we're seeing China doing something similar, with their becoming the second economic power in the world, and a powerhouse of manufacturing, and pretty much one of the most important trade partners of most countries around the world. So we're seeing another redrawing of alliances and partnerships around the world with BRICS and the BRI, etc., etc. Something that some could compare to what took place during the Opium Wars, this time around, at least for now, without a war. So this ride is about 35 kilometers. We are going to be riding, for the most part, along the river, the Dongjiang River, as you see here on the right. I have done this ride before during my testing, during the many rides that I did to test all these systems that you see here. This is the bike and all the gear and all the stuff that I'm going to be taking on my tour of China. So I've done quite a few rides testing different systems. placement of cameras, microphones, the gear, the bags, all sorts of things. There's your KTV in the park. So today's a Saturday morning. It's summer, so the kids are not in school. So we expect to see quite a few people out on the road. There's a beautiful, what do you call it, a promenade along the river. Stretches, I don't know, almost 20-30 kilometers, you'll see. And it's really beautiful. It's one of those things that is built for the people, and people just love coming to these green spaces. Not here, just wait until we get to the green spaces and you'll see. That's one of the islands along the river. It's quite interesting because there's a population that actually lives there, and there's a ferry right here, as you can see at the front, and the barges on the other side, the blue one over there. And that's what they do all day and night. I think they close at night, but yeah, they cross from one side to the other. And all these people right here most likely just came from one of those barges, because where would they come from if not there? Hello. Yeah, you go down there, that's where you get to the barge. Oh, they're loading. Have a look. As you can see, they're loading the ferry. Ooh, we're gonna have to wait for the next one. I wonder how much they pay. So, this modern country, this modern city, this manufacturing city of the world has interesting bits of culture, tradition, like this. So we're about to enter over there, one of those areas where there's a lot of greenery, and it's just, I love it. I really, really like how they make these areas so shaded, because the heat here is just unbelievable. What's taking place here? What's going on here? Oh, 对不起. What's that? I have to go to the other side. Fish? Yeah, they're releasing fish into the river apparently. Interesting. Hey! Where are they coming from? Oh, they're coming from down there. So the whole thing is full of fish apparently. And they're sucking them out and gliding them all to the river. Hui! Now I gotta get on the road. Hui! There's some kind of Buddhist music, religious music. I could be absolutely wrong, right? But that's what it sounds like. And they're looking at me like not too pleased with me shooting what they're doing. So really unsure about what's going on there. But fish in the river, it's all good. So again, back to this area right here. As I was telling you, look at the difference. It just feels cooler in here just because of all the shade. this, I don't know why they built it with this rock that you see at the bottom. Not the smoothest to ride in or shoot in. But other areas are much nicely planned. The newer areas, this is old. This is at least 20 years old. You can see by the size of the trees. Hui! Bless you. Hey, hello. That's a big sneeze. More barges on the, I think that's another island actually, separated from the one we saw before. So as you can see right here, this is split in two. You can stay at street level or you can go down to the river level. Steps, so I won't be doing that right now. But there's an area over there where you can actually go down by the river, and it's quite nice. Quite nice. Now here's another one of those very green areas. Actually, I remember shooting a video with Dongguan TV or something about this particular tree right here. It's a very old tree. As you can see, it's got like a shrine or something. It's a very important tree here in Dongguan. Protected, of course. It's a banyan tree. Don't remember the details, but yeah, pretty important tree here in Dongguan. Once again, split in two. I'll take this one. Little nicer. Hey, Greenway. Don't know if I told you, but my office actually participated in that project where all the road signage had to be bilingual. So my office helped with that translation and proofreading and whatnot. So another one of the things that makes me feel like I'm part of the city, like I belong in the city. I find it very interesting how people hide from the sun. Any shade people can get, that's what they get. That's why these trees are so important, because it's so sunny and hot here. So even if the bus stop has an awning at different times of day, you simply cannot get any shade. So they wait behind the bus stop. All these green areas that you see along the river, as you saw the first one with those really rocky floor, that was the first one that I remember seeing. Then this second one was a little bit better, and this is the newest one and kind of like the longest one. I'm of course, by today's standards, the most beautiful one, so let's see that. So this is where we enter that area. There's a very important bridge over there that connects this Wancheng, Dongcheng with Wanjiang. So that bridge is heavy traffic. So for people and bicycles, they created this path. And now it's super easy, super safe to cross that bridge. And after the bridge, you see another landmark of the city, which is the Jing'ao Tower and the dragon that defends the city. You see the dragon over there, the golden dragon. It used to protect the ships and the boats that sailed up and down from monsters that used to live in the water. Interestingly enough, there's a lot of people who swim in these waters. I've talked to a few people. I think you can see somebody swimming there. Oh, this guy's just... 你们去游泳吗?
Yes.
Yes? 好，每天吗?
Every day.
Every day?
Yes.
你会说英语啊? 一点点。你好，很高兴。Nice to meet you. How cool.
You like swimming?
Yes, yes, I like swimming. Okay, we're staying at street level. but we're gonna go under that bridge over there in a second. One thing that is pretty cool here is that under the bridges they build these playgrounds and these areas where kids can play safely. I find that pretty unique when you contrast it with, I don't know, what we would see in other countries like my country. If you have an area that's under the bridge, maybe they have the playground but no children playing. Xinjiang Tower. I'm doing some exercise. Hello. You can hear the karaoke. All right, let's go across. Dun, 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 dun. This here turns into a canal, and again runs parallel to the river for quite a few kilometers. There's a sand pit, different areas for kids. Let me show you that. How cool is that? Kids come and play, bathrooms. Really nice area. Oh, here on the right, I'm not gonna show you today, but here on the right, there's like an industrial area, a former industrial area that was turned into restaurants and coffee shops and whatnot. But no, I think we have a destination. We need to stay on course, so let me turn around. But this is pretty cool area. All right. It's hot, man. Everybody's in the shade. That red ribbon, the 3 red ribbons, that's a symbol of Dongguan, and that's the Humen bridge. That's very important to the region as well. Xinjiang Tower, baby. I would like to ride. I'm not gonna give you guys a choice because we could go down there to ride along the river, but it's a bit boring because there's a lot more trees at this level. As I said, this is the new one. Really beautiful. There's a lady there, so we go here. It's rained incredibly hard these last few days, almost a week. You've probably seen in the news, well, this is August, right? Early August. Floods, lots of landslides, destruction, because the weather has been inclement. And of course that affects a lot the color of the river. Just a lot of silt that's moved because of the extra additional water that has been falling. So, well, usually it's more on the green side. Today it looks a bit brownish. I can see people swimming. So you see how they built on the other side? Like this, restaurants and coffee shops and places where people can come and have a drink, have a snack, talk. I think one of them has an actual library, like a branch of the Dongguan Library, if I'm not mistaken. Which I'm almost sure I'm not. It just came out from a swim with a mankini. The name of the game in Guangdong is Shade. We actually need to go to the main road and get into traffic a little bit. because that's closed. Right, as you can see, construction going on here. Sorry, sir. So, oh, I think I made a mistake. All right, let's see. Yeah, I got water on my glasses. I'm sure there's water on the lens. I don't know if you can see there. The water sprinkles. It's just a mist, but then it falls on the 360 camera. Probably is gonna make it look horrible. I'm gonna stop in a second and we clean it up. Let's cross this traffic light. Alright, so this is where I have a choice to make. A moral choice. Right on the sidewalk or right on the road. Okay, here there's a bike path, but there's gonna be areas where I'm sure there's no bike path. So yeah, deciding whether to ride safely but with a lot of inconveniences because people park on the sidewalks, the sidewalks are not the best, etc., etc. So it's very bumpy, it's very annoying, it's very stop and go. Or ride a little bit more smoothly but on the road, having to deal with traffic, and in areas like Hojie, where we are headed to, industrial traffic, a lot of trucks, a lot of Kwaidi, a lot of traffic basically. But anyway, we shall see how long we endure the sidewalks that are not that smooth. At one point you get you get on the road. So far so good. Wow, this is nice. Haven't been around this place ever. All right, here comes Gramps on an e-bike as well. Okay, it's been almost an hour. I think I should hydrate, have a drink. Hello. All right, we go. Do, 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 do. It's on. Assist 3. We are in the chase. It is not fair. It is not fair. You see what I mean? These are some of the risks of biking in China, and very well aware of those, which is why I have my mirror so that I can check what's going on. Okay, I'm supposed to turn left at this traffic light? Apparently. All right. We shall turn. Hui. Half a bottle, one gulp. Quick hydration. All right, I think I'm blocking a lot of people. Oh, I could go this way, actually, which was green. Go, 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 sir. Hey, I hadn't seen. Did you notice those? There's a light on those arrows on the ground. Sorry. That's nice. Again, as I mentioned, Hojie, more of an industrial district. It's got posh and expensive areas, residential, whatnot, but a lot of industry here. A lot of leather, a lot of in the past also, not so much now. Right, I'm told to go straight. Once again. Never been here before. What's on my left? Nothing. And we are 1/3 of the way, more or less, 13 kilometers. And we're gonna go through towns and villages and residential areas, which is a different kind of riding, but an experience nonetheless. Welcome to my world. This looks like an old market. Yeah, it's a wet market here in Hojie. You got the twirly thing. That's an indicator of a barber shop or a hair salon. And some modern housing as well, right next to it. And once again, trees and trees and trees and trees. Shade is the name of the game. It is time for you to judge me. I'm not riding on the sidewalk. It's what we call in Chinese mafan, or troublesome, very annoying. And there's like a cultural aspect to this choice, is that a lot of people actually ride on the road, so everybody is a bit more aware of that. So without being it 100% safe or 100% legal, perhaps, I don't know, people are used to it. In a way, people are used to it. I need to turn left here. See no cars coming. Let's do it. Okay, now we need to cross. And oh, I need to keep going straight. Okay. Whew. I need to go to Binghe Road. Today is not a bad day to ride. Don't think it's gonna rain, and the sun is not shining like roasting you. So seems to be alright. A bit overcast only. Okay. Going down here. And now we got construction here, but it's asking me to go this way. Okay, so they made like a little path for bicycles. Temporary. Oh, I remember there's a place around here that makes wooden bathtubs. They manufacture them. I bought one around here. I saw a friend of mine had one, and he showed me where they bought it, and I came and I bought mine many years ago. Yeah, it's around here. Oh, you can see on the right that they're just building that path. It's brand new. How could I get in there? There, but this bike is so heavy. Every time I need to lift this bike, I think about it twice. Let's see if I can get up there here. I may be able to. Woohoo! Yes. All right. We are good to go. What's going on here? Oh, bicycle path is here. Let's go. More Greenway. Guangdong Greenway. Yeah. Keep going straight. So, this is the posh area of Hojie. A lot of high-end apartments and villas and whatnot. So that the bosses of those factories don't need to live too far from their offices and their headquarters and whatnot. Oh, I'm supposed to turn left here. Okay. Good thing I was looking down. Otherwise, I would have gotten very distracted and ended up somewhere else. I'm still working on my U-turns without having to walk. Okay. It's very different, this bike. It's very heavy, pretty much all over. Welcome to Tian'an Cyber Park. That's new. I do not remember that. Ford. Yeah, let's get on the sidewalk. Yep. I guess the map is asking me to just get out. Get down there. Oh, okay, I see. Now this is where you take the highway, the G4, to go to Xinjiang or to go to Guangzhou. That's the entrance to the highway. Motorcycles and bikes cannot get on the highway. So we stay on this bike lane. Yeah, all this area is dealerships, both sides of the road, left and right. Okay, let's zipper, man. Zipper, you go, I go. You go, I go. You go, I go. All right. I need to make a right soon. There's a hotel in Hojie where used to be like a mandatory stop for buses that go to Hong Kong airport. So if you wanted to go to Hong Kong airport, you could take a bus somewhere in the city, but also here. Sorry? Okay. He saw that I'm a foreigner, so he didn't get too upset. That is white privilege. Otherwise he would have yelled at a Chinese person really badly. Guarantee you. But he was kind enough. And it's a, I don't know if it's a 5-star hotel or 4-star hotel. So probably it's part of the training. Be nice to foreigners, I guess. Maybe. Okay, I should go under this bridge. Okay, because I'm going to turn. Sorry, sir. Just go with the flow. Go with the flow. Avoid impact, and that's all. Okay, so we're gonna go here left. And I think I'm gonna swap batteries once we get to the other side. Supposed to turn right. Ah, driving schools. Let me show you a bit of that. That's driving schools here in China. So that people don't get too hot, just get these parasols. Protects the cars a little bit. Not that the paint on the first one makes much of a difference. Yeah, this is where people come and practice the different maneuvers. Parking, turning, stopping on a hill, etc, etc, etc. There you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the hotline. If you have any problems, any complaints, consumer rights, things like that, that's the number you call. All right, time to change this battery. You may be wondering why, after 25 years of living in the city, have I never visited this museum, and I don't really have a clear answer to that. But starting this journey of virtual pedals around, where I want to show you cultural aspects, historical aspects, society, rural China, all those things that get easily overlooked. I thought it would be a good place to start because being my city, Dongguan, and being so important in history, it plays an important role. This place is also important to understand a little bit how strict the rules are and the laws are in China when it comes to drugs, because it meant at the time a loss of sovereignty and a lot of power and a lot of, it was the beginning of the century of humiliation. So for them, drugs are the worst thing that can happen to a country. So this museum is also important in that sense, because even though, I'll tell you the truth, I've seen people doing drugs in China. I know people do drugs in China. We see in the news every now and then people getting given the death penalty for smuggling drugs and whatnot. But they make a very big deal of anti-narcotics and anti-drug education, which I think is important. I've said it many times in the past, that the world, my country in particular, Colombia, with our history of drug trafficking, right? We've had 5 decades of war against drugs, but what has been accomplished? Not much. I think that a war against addiction will be far more effective. And I think that this museum is along those lines. There's a war against drugs via a war against addiction, telling people that addiction can destroy you, destroy your life, destroy the country. And in that sense, they make it something patriotic. I don't know who would argue with that. As you would imagine, one of the things that I will do in these videos is pepper here and there these stories with my experience. I had, for example, a teacher that I trained. I was recruiting him, an American, all of a sudden disappear. He was scheduled to start working and he disappeared. I couldn't get back in touch with him. I didn't know where he went. It disrupted a lot of my business, and later on I found out that he is sitting in a prison here in Dongguan for drug trafficking. So yes, there's drugs in the country. People use drugs, well, Chinese and foreigners. It's the stupidest thing you can do, if you ask me. I had an associate or somebody that I used to make videos with who had a similar situation. We were scheduled to shoot a podcast and he wouldn't reply. I'm like, yo, are we shooting today? Yo, are we shooting today? Are we shooting today? Are we shooting today? Nothing. So the guy disappeared like for 2 weeks, and he was also caught in some sort of raid, some sort of operative where a lot of people started snitching on each other and they ended up in trouble. That person is no longer in the country. What else? Also sad stories. I remember I had a teacher who actually dropped dead in the classroom due to an overdose. That was at the beginning of my center, and from that day on I decided to start doing random drug tests, which is something that not a lot of people were happy with, but hey, my business, my rules. Okay, I need to keep going. I need to keep going straight. Okay, let's turn around. All right. Thank you. Oh, somebody dropped eggs. This road right here feeds the highway. So there's the highway entrance down there. It's G4, connects Guangzhou to Shenzhen, and of course the rest of China, and goes all the way to Hong Kong. A very important highway, one of the biggest and oldest highways. It was already built when I arrived here 25 years ago. An amazing highway. It's I think it's 4 lanes in each direction, but of course you see all those roads feeding heavy traffic to that highway. Ooh, yo. Fucking hell. I wasn't looking. Yeah, so that's the entrance to the highway. As you can see all the big trucks. Now this is the way that actually goes to the Humen railway station. That's the high-speed rail here in the city. Connects to anywhere in the country. You can take a high-speed bullet train to Beijing if you wanted to. Shanghai. Well, my memory was full, so I don't know if I captured that for you, but I would like to go back and show you. Somebody has hit the height barrier, which is 2.3 meters, and now they're fixing it, they're replacing it. Wow. 这是今天的吗？今天吗？什么时候？这是今天吗？昨天？不知道。不知道？嗯。这是骑行的。对。哎呀妈呀！好啊。中国话讲得这么溜。谢谢。拜拜。He doesn't know when it happened. Okay, we're supposed to go down this way. At this stage, I'd like to be on the road. It's too much up and down, up and down, up and down. And this isn't exactly a lane by the looks of it. Okay, we've got 12 kilometers to get there. Should be 40 minutes, 45 minutes. So we'll take him. A little bit of pedal assist. Drop it. I just saw the biker that we saw in the city. I wonder where she's going. Okay, now this looks like 2 lanes. Should probably get on the sidewalk. This right here is a bit chaotic because this is the entrance to the high-speed rail. So the people that are coming on that lane, they want to get on this lane to turn right and go to the high-speed rail station. I think I'm going to turn right as well. From what I look on my map, seems like I will turn right as well. Humen Township. This is the beginning of it. Welcome to Humen. Well, the water guy should be over here instead of being an asshole and blocking traffic. Humen Station. Humen Zhang. Humen Zhang. Humen Station. Okay, but how does this work? I need to go here, Yes, okay, that was stupid. Could have gone that way. Yeah, but where's the path? Ah, here, okay. Alright. Mean bye. Let's go, baby. Okay. Now I need to go right. Hold on 1 second. Okay, it says I need to go this way. Oh, that's a high-speed train coming into the station. Okay, so this is Shandou Park. Alright. Huh. Go left, go right. No, where am I going? This map is acting a little cray-cray. I need to keep going down, okay. Is that right? Yes. Let me be on the shade a little bit. Okay, so now we're entering a village, a proper village. Imagine the life that has been brought to this village because of the high-speed train station and because of the subway. Those are the things that change the dynamics and the economy of a rather large area once you build infrastructure like that. Not saying they're rich by any means, but life is better. Conditions are better. Opportunities are more. Okay, I need to make a left somewhere. There's a car coming behind me. You go ahead, sir. I'm supposed to turn left here. Okay, so that's the Gautier. That's the high-speed rail. Okay, so I'm turning here. Recycling of garments. These are the little sweatshops that supply bigger factories. So a lot of the people, what they do is they go and they work in a factory, right? And they learn how to do something, and then with the savings, they go out and they start their own little mini factories. Do you know what I mean? So they will supply things. For example, take a look at this one. They will supply parts to larger factories, and they can make a pretty decent living. Xinjiang clothing. So it's a very common model. And again, think about that. Some of those workers, right? They don't have a college degree. They didn't go to college. They just went from the towns, from the rural areas of China, came to the city, learned how to do something, how to make something, save some money, because the factories provide them with housing and food and, well, not housing, accommodation, food, uniform, pretty much everything. So whatever low salary that they get, they can save it. They can save it. And over the years, that makes quite a bit of startup capital. So even without a college degree, after 5 years, you could easily have a few thousand US$ saved, $1,000 US$ saved, and you go and you buy a couple of machines and set up a small shop there. So you learn how to do something at the factories, free training, or paid training if you think about it, and then you go out and do your own thing. That's the entrepreneurship that I see in my city. Some would say all over China, but at least in my city, this is where you see a lot. And they become employers, and they bring family members to the city, and they create that middle class that is so important nowadays as a consumer base for China. Okay, never been around here before in my life. One of the reasons why I'm riding with long sleeves and long pants, but not today. Today was gonna be too hot. Is that there's a chikungunya situation in the south of China. A few cases here and there, and there's campaigns all over the city, all over the country, if I'm not mistaken, to prevent the spread of chikungunya. There's been a few cases in Foshan, which is that way, I think, a little bit more southwest from where we are now, on the other side of the Humen bridge. We are in Humen, so that way. And we've had a lot of rain, so there's a lot of stagnant water. You see, chikungunya, it's all propaganda. Which basically means propagate information that is going to be useful for people. So that's what those banners are. I think there's 2 cases of chikungunya here in Dongguan, Foshan. If I'm not mistaken, it's in the hundreds, maybe thousands, I'm not sure. I will be lying to you. But yeah, they're taking it seriously. Last night they came home and they knocked on the door and they said, how many people live here? Do you have plants? No, we don't have plants. So, just make sure to clean up any water reservoirs or any stagnant water that might be in your home. I'm like, okay. They fumigate the basement where the car park is. They fumigated the whatchamacallit, the gardens. So yeah, it's a directive from central government to make sure that people are aware of what they need to do and how they can prevent it. Okay, straight. I would like to know where I am. Says 3 kilometers. Hey! Jesus. Look away for a second and boom. Okay. Try to cover mouth and nose a little bit because this is dusty around here. Thought of the day. This being such an important historical place in China's history, I'm sure there's a more elegant way to get there. This is just the way to get there by bike, but I'm sure it's probably easier by car somehow. Just wondering. That water is hot, man. Can feel it in my shoes. That is hot water. I guess this is where we're going. Guess they're building another highway? Or... what is that? I go this way, I guess. the recycling. There's some old house there. Probably important. Zhenkou学校. Zhenkou 学校, this is school. I think I should find a place to eat around here before I get to the museum. Yeah, I want to find a place that's a bit in the shade. Oh, yo. Okay. Seems like we are here. 200 meters. That's 40 kilometers, baby. Oh, yo. Seems to be here around the corner. Oh, it was right. No. Okay, seems like this is the place. All right. Yeah. Hello. Okay, we're here. I am going to get something to eat. So let's go across the street, grab something to eat first. Let's see if I can eat a G-Toy. Okay guys, so bike is over there and we finally made it to the... 谢谢. Let's go see the Memorial Hall. This is what you're welcome with at the gate. That's a statue right there. The one at the back, the one that we're gonna see is a bronze statue of LinZeXu. And these are cannons right here that were actually used during the battles. These are actual cannons used during the battles. Yes. Oh. So if I'm not mistaken, these were the pits where the opium was actually burned. I could be wrong about that. Oh yes, of course. So okay, so these are the pits for destroying the opium. Yeah, that story is very interesting. A lot of fortunes that were made from that opium trade, and today they're reputable institutions back in the West. You can buy memorial coins. Fresh coconuts. Basically, in this platoon is where you would dry it and package the opium and do the deals, and then these fast boats would take them to shore wherever they were going to enter illegally. These are opium smugglers, William Jardine, James Matheson. They're renowned names and names that still exist in Hong Kong, like Jardine. Now, this is an interesting part of history that I learned about when I was in Xinjiang, because it was LinZeXu who actually helped with the waterways in Xinjiang. he devised the way of bringing water from the Xinjiang mountain into the desert. Well, how did he end up in Xinjiang? That's the interesting part, because after destroying the opium, British forces made it an excuse to start the Opium War. And then the emperor, the he attributed the war to LinZeXu. He thought it was a mistake and ordered him to be dismissed and punished. That's why he ended up in Ili, in Xinjiang. This is him traveling to Xinjiang. If it weren't for him, the water systems that are used today wouldn't exist in Xinjiang. All right, friends, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching this video. You know what to do. Like, comment, share, and subscribe if you like this kind of content of me biking around China, showing you interesting cultural things, historical things, societal things from China. So the channel Virtual Pedals Around, and that's it for today. See you in the next one.